You are now tuned into the Cut Game radio show hosted by Groom City.
With the Cut Game radio show, we let them know we stay true
To the Cut Game.
Yeah, that's how we do. It's the Cut Game radio show, we let them know we stay true
To the Cut Game.
Yeah, that's how we do. It's the Cut Game radio show, we let them know we stay true
To the Cut Game.
Yeah, that's how we do.
The Cut Game radio show hosted by Groom City.
That's how we do.
Hey, what's going on? This Groom City, and you now tuned in to the Cut Game radio show. Number one podcast for your hair needs. What's going on, Tom?
What's going on, Groom City?
Oh, man, you know, chilling, man. How was your weekend, my brother?
Man, weekend is awesome. I'm enjoying this this movement we right now, man. This, you know, we elevated on this jet fuel. We had new heights, new levels. You know, I'm checking out Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff, and we get new likes, new friend requests. So I mean,
I want to thank everybody. Thank you for going to our Facebook. Thank you for going to our Instagram. If you guys don't know, it's at the Cut Game on our Instagram, on all our social medias at the Cut Game, and also all those amazing emails at thecutgame@gmail.com. We thank. Matter of fact, I was going through the emails, man.
What you got?
And first of all, few emails just thanking us for the show. You know, got a lot of jewels, a lot of knowledge that was dropped, but also got a lot of emails, man, about pricing. You know, pricing is a real controversial subject within barbering, and I was going to answer that email directly, but I decided to base the whole show today around educating my family, my barber family, my hair professional family about pricing, you know. So today we're going to talk about pricing.
It's going to be a good topic.
Yeah, definitely. So before I get into pricing, I want to break down your wage. You know, a lot of times, you know, most of us barbers out there, we're self-employed. You know, we could be in a commission-based shop, a booth rental shop. Some of us is getting paid hourly, you know, at some of the franchises like Supercuts and etc. But for the most part, you know, we don't work, we don't eat. You know, that's just how it goes. So a lot of times, if we're on that setup, you know, it's a little different from your square person. I'm gonna just say a square job. You know, they get paid a wage. You know, they either get paid a yearly salary, it's broken down based on bi-weekly, weekly, monthly, or they actually get an hourly wage. You know, and you know, once you go past 8 hours, then you get time and a half and so forth. But when you a barber, especially when you're working in a commission shop or a booth rent shop, it's hard to really peep out the type of wage that you're getting or that you would like to earn, because, you know, like I said, you know, it's based on that chair spinning. So I just want to break a whole bunch of things down today regarding price. I want you guys to really establish in your mind what type of wage, because it's all based on time. Time is the hottest commodity on this planet. No one can give you time. You know, that's why they use the word spending time with someone, because it's exactly like money, except it's more valuable because you cannot get it back, you know. So while you spending time at that barbershop, at that commission-based barbershop, at that booth rental-based barbershop, where you got your own shop, your own salon suite, you're spending that time, and that time is precious, and you should be getting paid for your time. So you have to develop in your mind, if I'm going to spend 8 hours in here today, 9 hours in here, 10 hours, how many hours you want to spend at work, you should have in your mind a goal on how much you want to get paid per hour. And we're going to break that down today. You know, so we're going to speak about wage, and we're going to speak about commission. Now, when I speak on commission, I'm not talking about your commission-based shop. When a client, I want all my barbers out there, I want y'all to change your thinking when you come into a shop, when you're operating on, just say, an app with your clients. I want you guys to change your thinking. I want you guys to think that when clients either book on the app, call you and book on the phone, however they're using, whatever platforms they're using to reach you, I want you guys to vision that it's like a customer reaching out to an artist, you know, and when he reaches that artist, he's commissioning the artist for his piece of art. And when that customer is reaching out to you, and just say that customer wants a ball fade and a razor shave, I want you to vision that he's commissioning for you to produce the art of a ball fade and the art of a razor shave on his head. And I want you to picture how long it would take for you to produce that art on that particular client, how much time it would take, and I want you to develop a price based on the time it would take to produce the art form that he's commissioning you to, he or she. So based on that, I want you guys to develop how much you want to get paid per minute, and based on the popular services that you provide to your customers that's seeking your services. And I want you to price it based on how much you want to get paid per minute. For instance, the average haircut, I'll say across the board, if it's not a difficulty or a specialty haircut, it should take you about 30 minutes. Average haircut. I'll say the average razor shave should take you, somewhere in 30 minutes as well. So if a person's commissioning you to produce a ball fade and a razor shave on their face, that's 60 minutes. And how much would you like to get paid in 60 minutes? How much do you feel that you're worth? Your 60 minutes of your time is worth. What do you feel that your perceived value is based on your time? I feel a comfortable rate across the board is $1 a minute. Is $1 a minute. So if a client or potential customer is commissioning you to produce a hairstyle that takes 60 minutes, I feel like that should be $60. So let's go back to our example of a ball fade and a razor shave. I feel like a comfortable price is $60. Of course, there's some people out there, their time is worth more than that. Their time is worth, maybe they might feel like their time is worth $5 a minute based on their perceived value, based on how much time they invested in their craft, and they want to you should get a return on whatever you invest in. And I feel like the best investment we can all make is the investment into ourselves. So there's some barbers out there that invested in themselves. I'm talking about they invest in their education. They go to seminars. They may even have a degree, or they may even have the knowledge of someone that has an MBA and applying that knowledge to their business. And they may deserve well over $1 a minute. But for the most part, I think straight across the board, $1 a minute, I feel is comfortable for us barbers in 2017. So I feel like across the board, I've done a lot of traveling, and I feel like haircut and razor shave, if it's going to take you 60 minutes, it should be $60. Straight up. Now, a lot of you barbers can't charge that. I'm going to keep it real. A lot of y'all, it sounds good across the board, but across the board, the quality's not there across the board. So a lot of you barbers can't charge that, and I'm going to bring up a lot of factors. One, your location. It's either in an undesirable area, or your shop that you perform your work, produce your art in, is just in it's in an undesirable looking location. It's just not appealing to the customer, and you have to factor in the place that you're performing your art. You have to factor in the appearance of that shop. It will affect your price. If your shop is not up to par, I feel like this rule that I'm making right now, $1 a minute, does not apply to you. You also have to be aware of the demographic of people that's in the surrounding area of the location of your shop. Now, if the demographic, is below poverty line, it'll be a little hard for you to charge $1 a minute for your services. But if you can, more power to you, because you could have other factors going on. Could have a lot of marketing. You could have invested a lot of time and effort and money into your marketing. You could have skill set that supersedes your area, so therefore you can charge that. But for the most part, I feel like to get that dollar a minute, you have to improve upon your customer service. That's number one, your customer service. That experience must match the service and the quality of service that person is commissioning you for. Straight up. So I feel like I call it BDA, before, during, and after. A client must be happy before you perform the services, during your time with the client, and after you perform the service. The client must be satisfied and happy all the way through, So that's why the location of the shop and the aesthetics of the shop, it affects the B in BDA, the before. Client comes in, it's an undesirable part of town. Parking hard to find parking. Now that client entered the building, was not greeted at all, was not greeted by the fellow barbers in the shop, wasn't even greeted by yourself. That affects his experience, his or her experience, Then while they're in your chair, you may have not recommended a shampoo service, which to me, recommending a shampoo service to a client, especially a new client, sets you apart from the rest of the barbers. That's letting the client know that you like working on a clean surface of hair, and it also letting them know, even they may not be computing this, but it's just letting them know that you want to get familiar with their hair, you want to relax them, you want to perform an extra service on their hair and work with clean hair so you can put the best haircut you can. That person may be aware that they have debris in their hair, but it's kind of a little embarrassing for the customer to be like, hey, my hair is dirty, my scalp dirty, I need a wash. That's a little hard, especially if you're a new barber. It's kind of hard for that client to say, I need your help right now to cleanse my scalp. It's a little hard for guys to say that. So now it's just all the way uncomfortable, Then after, you could have been rushing, you could have been on the phone, whatever it is. But for the most part, if the client is not happy with BDA, once you hit them with that $60 price point, it's gonna add to the client unsatisfaction, because the perceived value of what you just provided that customer does not meet the $60. So you got to work on your BDA. Straight up, you got to work on your BDA. So you may have to move to a different location. You may have to improve the location that you're in, especially if you're a shop owner. You may have to take a little bit of that money and invest into your location just strictly on aesthetics. But you will get a return on that investment, straight up. But if you are conducting business in a nice part of town, the shop does look nice. When clients come in, you do greet them. You do recommend a shampoo service before you start whatever hair service that they're seeking, that they're commissioning you to perform. While you're cutting their hair, you're reading the client. You're using a mirror effect. If they're a hype type person, you're giving them energy that matches their energy. If they're more laid back, kind of chill, you're mirroring that and give them an energy that matches what they got going on. And then after they look at the mirror and you putting out amazing work, that $60 plus, that $60 and up price tag that you hit that person just with a haircut and shave, they'll be happy to pay it. They'll be happy to pay it, and you will see a tip because you just gave them an experience, Just like when the movies come out, it's amazing theaters out there, with amazing screens. But there's also certain theaters like the iPic Theater and so forth and so on. It has the same movie, but the experience is different. When you come in, you have a waiter. You have assigned seating. They're giving you a blanket, pillows. You're able to eat real food. Even have you an alcoholic beverage. Now, the price point of that experience is usually 3 times higher than watching the same movie in a nice, comfortable theater. Even they might even give you 3D, but the price is gonna be a little off. But guess what? People that's going to the theater where they have a waiter, where they're eating real food, where they have assigned seating, where it's in a smaller setting, they're willing to pay that because they want a better experience. And I want for the barber community out there to be like the iPick theaters. When you're delivering your haircuts, when you're delivering your hair services, I want you guys to be like the iPick theaters. Now, you may have to build up to that. I get that, but for the most part, you at least want to be a nice theater. There's other theaters out there that give you assigned seating, but you may just not getting a waiter. You're not just getting a smaller setting, but they're doing what they can to improve the experience, and usually you see that reflecting in the price, and usually it's in nicer neighborhoods. So they know that they couldn't really pull that off in certain demographic in certain neighborhoods. So I want you guys, if you guys want to improve your money in this barber game, I want you guys to make those necessary changes so you guys won't have to undercut barbers. Now I'm gonna speak on undercutting. If a barber A up the street charges less than you for a haircut, that is not undercutting. It's only undercutting when barber A up the street gives the same quality of haircut and the same experience for a cheaper price to make him or herself attractive to the client and to undercut the barbers in the area. That's when it's undercutting. Is when they're providing the same quality of service and the same quality of cut and the same environment and the same experience for a cheaper price, a much cheaper price. That's undercutting. But just because you got barbers and stylists in the area that's charging cheaper, that's not undercutting. That's not undercutting, because if you provide a better experience, better quality of work, you won't have any troubles with barbers being next door to you cheaper. Straight up. Especially if your location is you got the aesthetics going on, it's just nice, you're not gonna have any problem with the cheaper barber. Now there is clients out there that looks for the cheaper service. You got all type of clients, and there are clients like that, and you don't want that client anyways. You're trying to get paid for your art form. You're trying to get paid, and you can't really judge art. I can look at a painting and it doesn't really do nothing for me, and the price point could be crazy. I'm talking about in the millions. You can't really put a price on art. It's up to the customer, what the customer's looking for and what the customers want, and what the artist's track record and what they've been promoting themselves to build up to that price. Straight up. Usually they have the respect of their peers. They have the respect of their peers. So all these things come into factor. All these things come into factor. So when it comes to just the basics, I want to speak to, because it's new barbers out there, and I want to help you guys. Just the basics. I got a few notes in my phone, and I want to break down the 3 C's, which is company, customer, and competition. Now, company, whether you know it or not, once you graduated barber school or Cosmo school, you became a company. You became a business. Straight up. To be specific, you became a sole proprietor. And you got to have what's necessary on you that most businesses have, whether it's, when I was coming up, it was a business card, but right now it may be an Instagram page, business card, website. You got to have those things, because straight up, soon you come out of barber or cosmetology school and you have your license, you are looked at. That soon you promote yourself to that first customer, that customer is looking at you as a company. Maybe not exactly how they will see, Coke or Sprite or whatnot, but they're looking at you as you just starting your business up, and they may want to support you because of that, because they like supporting startup businesses, but for the most part, you have to know that in your head that you just became a business, and so since you just became a business, you need customers to grow your business. You need customers to grow your business. So you need to think about your target audience. What type of clients, that would be interested in your services. The unique services that you provide. You need to be aware of your demographics. Be aware of the area that you're going to serve, the type of people in the area that you're going to be servicing. And also, you need to be aware of your competition. That is the third C, is competition. And even if you I don't have any competition, well, then you need to be aware of yourself. You need to be this where you have to really know yourself better than you ever known yourself. Really get to know what you got going on, and then maximize the gifts that God gave you. So that's the 3 C's right there, is company, customer, and competition. Now, once you fully wrap your head around the 3 C's, that brings us to the 4 P's, which is product, promotion, place, and price. Now, we spoke briefly on these, but these 4 P's, let's break down product. Now, as a barber, your main product is your service. It's the service. It's the services that you provide, and you need to clearly articulate what you offer to the customer, what type of value the customer may receive fooling with you. And you need to also sell products. That's another way you can increase your revenue. Also, selling and recommending products to a client increases retention rate. And it sets you aside from dusty barbers. We're going to talk about dusty barbers a whole nother show, but you do not want to be associated with a dusty barber. Straight up. Now, the second on one of the 4 P's is promotion. So you need to really process how you're going to market yourself. What type of advertisement are you going to use? Are you going to, what is going to be your social media strategy? What type of marketing budget you're working with, And also, you got to always get a return on whatever time, money that you invest in yourself. And place. We spoke about this earlier, but you need to really factor in where you're going to service your clients. What type of environment. Are you going to work for yourself? Are you going to open up a barbershop and have barbers work for you and also work in there? Are you going to have you just a private booth or a private salon suite? Or are you going to work in a commission-based shop? Are you going to work in a booth rental shop? Or are you going to work in the barbershops where they pay the professionals hourly? You need to really think about this when you're coming out of barber school. Right when you come out of barber school or cosmetology school, you need to really think about this. And then we back to that 4th P, which is price. So I want you guys to, just a recap, I want you guys to envision that when customers reach out to you, they're commissioning you to produce your art. That's what they're coming to, the production of your art. They're commissioning you to produce art, either on their scalp, face, or whatever services that you provide. And you need to develop how much time it would take to produce that art and develop an appropriate price so you can get paid accordingly. And that's pretty much it. So I want you guys to study your 3 C's, study the 4 P's. I want you guys to really come up with a game plan. Come up with a game plan, because pricing is important. You don't want to get locked into pricing. And I'm going to let you guys know, a lot of times we have long-term clients, and the client may feel that they should have a different price than new clients. And I'm letting you know right now, there's such thing as fixed costs and variable costs. And I want all the barbers to know that your prices for your services are variable costs, because the cost of your equipment changes, the cost of your rent changes, the cost of the products it take to produce your art changes. There's a lot of variables involved in what it is to produce the art. So therefore, you can't have your haircut looked at in your mind. I'm not talking about the client, I'm talking about your mind. You can't have your haircut and look at it as, or your shaves or whatever services you provide, you can't have it looked at as a fixed cost. Your prices are also a variable cost. You may be charging $60 today for a bald fade and a razor shave, but come 2-3 years from now, you can't charge $60 because there's other variable costs involved where you have to increase your price to make it all balance out. So going back to the clients that's been with you for a minute supporting you, they need to know that your cost is a variable cost, and whatever budget that they have weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly for your hair services, that's not a fixed cost. It may be fixed today, or they may think it's fixed today, but like I said, it's a variable cost. So whatever budget they have, that right there, it's a budget that's forever. It can change year to year. And you need to let your long-term clients know that whatever you have set aside for me, that can change, because everything goes up. That's just what it is. Everything goes up. And they're aware of this. You know, car notes is fixed costs. Mortgages are fixed costs if you got the right loans. It's a lot of things that's fixed costs, but we all know the variable costs. You know, groceries, the guy that's mowing your lawn, all type of services and products that we buy to live. They vary. They vary based on seasons. You know, certain fruit is a different price. That's why a lot of times you go to restaurants and order seafood, it's always a market price, because there's different variables that affect the price. Your haircuts are the same way. Different variables affect the price of your haircuts. They're pretty much stable, but they should go up because cost of living goes up. Most of the time, even when you're in your leases, it's going to go up like 2 to 5% on your lease. Straight up. It's going to always, some type of increase is going to happen every year, especially living in some of the popular states, some of the states with a high population, you know, high taxes. It's always different variables going on where you have to adjust to survive. So just want to break that down for my peoples out there, my family out there, my hair professional out there, my barbers out there, whether you been in this game for a minute or whether you're just fresh out of barber school. I want you to take a lot of this information and I want you to apply it to your business model, apply it to your game plan, and hopefully it helps you execute a proper game plan where you're maximizing your earning potential as a barber or a stylist. So that's what's up. So this right here, this concludes the Cut Game radio show. I just want to thank any and everybody out there for tuning in. I want to thank anybody out there for sending us emails, direct messages on all of our social medias. Please feel free, if you have any questions regarding what I spoke on today, you can reach us at The Cut Game on all our social medias. You can also email us at thecutgame@gmail.com. I want y'all to stay up, stay elevated, stay on your jet fuel, and y'all stay up. Peace.